Hello and welcome to Pro Trader Strategies Market Commentary for Monday, August the 12th. My name is Eric Wilkinson. Yep, you might recognize me as the Wolfman from mainstream media, but what I'm here to do is to teach you how to trade options. And please remember that past performance of any trading system or methodology is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, with that out of the way, let's get it on with the economic data. It being a Monday, it is pretty light, so not anything really to even look at, to be quite honest, for economic data. It's really going to be more dependent on what's going on with Trump and China and all of those things. That's going to be the main line or main headlines going on right now, I think, and the real market drivers, to be quite honest. All right, we're looking at crude oil here in the overall markets, right there at around $54 a barrel, but that's lining up quite nicely with the point of control. Everything's kind of coming in and around like what we've been talking about recently, is how these markets have had the big swings, but they're finding these that we're settling down in and around where the point of control lies, where the most time and volume is as well. I'm going to have to find a different pen. I must have thrown my good one away. My good $100 pen. That's how much these things are, believe it or not. All right, so we are right there in and around where we're talking about with the point of control for crude oil being the point of control here. And as you can see, that lines up with $53.50 a barrel. So we are pretty close to where the market finds comfort, and we could easily see us start to settle down here, especially with light data and the market really depending on what the global levers and pulleys are doing right now with the overall markets. Gold is moving higher again today. Again, it is a flight to safety with this currency risk that we have going on. We've already talked about China lowering or devaluing their currency, pinning it a little bit lower. Well, that causes the rest of the globe to start thinking about devaluing their currency as well, right? Because when they see China's currency is super cheap, it makes people want to buy the products from China, to go and buy in that currency or buy in that country of domicile for that currency, because you get a lot more bang for your buck. All right, so that is going to be a driving force around the globe when they start seeing this. And when the market participants see all of this happening, well, what do? They go out and they try to protect themselves. Protecting themselves would be going out there and buying gold, driving that market higher. All right, bonds up by another point and a half right now into the 62s. I did not think we were going to be able to sustain these levels. I just don't see the Fed being that aggressive and or the economy being that weak at this point anyway, for us to really be looking at lowering interest rates that much. But again, we are seeing all of these dojis kind of banging back and forth. If we go back, we can see, I'll start with the green one because we got the green candle that does this, and then we've got a green candle that we thought looked like it was going to be a top, but then we never got any confirmation. We got something like that. Well, that usually indicates a pattern that is going to go higher, but let's cut that out. What we see again happening is we get another doji where then it's another one that looks like this. Well, you don't typically see the markets have a tendency to bang back and forth and just create these kind of dojis where we are really just not going anywhere. And you can see that that's the same situation here. You know, I mean, especially if the market settled down and we came back close to where we were opening, or along those lines, close to the close or the open of this print down here. That would, again, then we would have another doji that ends up looking kind of like that, where who can tell where that market is saying it wants to go. It is a true battle of the bulls and the bears, and coming down to almost a draw in a sense is what we're looking there in the bonds. It's just a total battle of the bulls and the bears, and nobody's really come out a winner at this point. All right, the VIX is moving higher. Well, we know if the bonds are moving higher, we likely have a bearish day in the equities, as we can see here with the Dow Jones down 224 points on the day. But again, coming right back to our point of control here, where we have the most time and volume for the POC. That is going to be a comfort area. As a matter of fact, this morning I was talking on, or somebody was tweeting out on Twitter, where's the next stop for the S&Ps, the SPOOs? Well, I talked about it. I said, you know, do you think 3,200 is going to get printed or 2,600 printed first? I said 3,200 printed first, but I believe that we are going to settle down in and around the area we are right now for E-mini S&Ps. That's 2,900-ish for at least a little while here. I think we're going to start working on some volume in and around these areas. Market's going to settle down without a whole lot of economic data, really. We are going to probably have a tendency to settle down right around here. We do get CPI later on this week and a couple other economic data points, but for the most part, I think it's going to be a relatively quiet week, and we'll settle down here in these little areas in between the Fibonacci's. Right here we got the 78, and right here we got that 50. I think we're going to see the market kind of bang back and forth in and around this area here. I don't see that we're seeing a lot of strength or weakness at this point. You know, global weakness, yes, but not here in the United States. And again, here's another situation with the E-mini S&P is down about 20 points on the day, off of the lows, but again, lining up with that 2,900. We're right there at 2,899. That's the 2,900-ish I'm talking about, because I think that we're going to settle in and around this little area in between, okay? That's the point of control. We should start to see some lower volumes maybe and settling down around that area. Not a whole lot to see here. Overnight inventory, yeah, probably could say it was a little bit short. No attempt to flush those guys out, but it doesn't feel like there's any attempt to do anything in this lethargic market today. It just seems like it does not take a whole lot to push this market around. A couple of things that I'm just a little concerned about here is TLT moving higher. Remember, I've played this to the downside. It's not moving a whole lot. We are getting volatility to expand, and I sold calls in there, so that is hurting a little bit. May look to add some things to TLT to the downside. I just think it may be a little bit overdone to the upside. And then with SPY, we are right there at the point of control. We are starting to see some volatility increasing, which is hurting my short puts in the SPY, playing that for the bullish side, right? We don't necessarily want to see volatility expand when we have that kind of trade, but really the market hasn't moved. We have gone down just a little bit from where I put that on, but the volatility expanding is probably the thing that's making my P&L look a little bit worse than it really is, to be honest. And that's about it. I haven't added anything. Looking at a couple of trades, but just haven't found anything that really is jumping out at me. It may be one of those days to really kind of sit on your hands and see how the market plays out going forward here. So I'm going to be a little bit more patient here until I see something really market moving or giving me some kind of clue to the tea leaves. And that's about it. I hope everybody had a great weekend. Webinars have been great. You guys have been participating a lot more in those. We got a lot of new faces in there, so that's great. Love to hear all the banter back and forth, so keep that stuff up. And follow us on Facebook so you can get access to these videos and the webinars, all right? We put those out there for the people that are following us, so check it out. You get quicker access than you would via the email. All right, so if you can't take that, take it easy.